and welcome to this week's video. Before we get into it, let me ask you, when was the last time you actually used Viridian? For most painters, it is either missing from the palette or sitting there completely untouched. But what if I told you it might be one of the most powerful colours you're not using? In today's video, I'm going to show you how this colour makes a great neutraliser and beautiful greys using this recent cat commission as my demo. Let's jump straight into the video. Number 1, why Viridian gets ignored. If you've been painting for a while, chances are Viridian is either not on your palette at all or it's sitting there barely touched. This is definitely the case for me. I have 2 tubes unopened in my paint box. Viridian is not really included in most beginner palette recommendations, so lots of painters simply never buy it in the first place. Also, let's be honest, it doesn't look like any green in nature straight from the tube. It looks artificial, so it doesn't seem useful. Most painters who want a green will either mix their own or reach for something like sap green or perhaps green gold. So Viridian just doesn't feel necessary. I am guilty of this myself. I rarely use it and mix all my own greens because I would rather have a harmonious palette. But in my last 2 paintings, I have reached for the Viridian and it has reminded me what a powerful neutralising colour it is. So today I want to show you exactly what I mean using this white cat painting. Number 2, what Viridian actually is. Before we look at the painting, it helps to understand what Viridian actually is and why it behaves the way it does. Viridian sits on the cool side of the colour wheel. It is a blue-green, which means it leans towards blue rather than yellow. That cool bias is exactly what makes it so useful for mixing. It will cool down any warm colour you add it to without pushing the mix towards blue. Sometimes blue can be just too cool. Remember, in colour hierarchy, green is warmer than blue. It is also a transparent colour, which means it doesn't overwhelm mixes in the same way an opaque colour would. It has a moderate intensity, and because of its lower tinting strength, it's really great for creating subtle mixes and can be used to subtly neutralise really warm colours. When combined with the other colours, particularly alizarin crimson, it can give you the most beautiful neutrals. And it's that complementary pairing that I built this whole painting around. Number 3, the magic of Viridian and alizarin crimson. Complementary colours are colours that sit opposite each other on the colour wheel. And when you mix them together, rather than cancelling each other out, they create the most beautiful rich neutrals, or can be used as a preferred alternative to black paint. When you add white, that is when the magic really starts to happen. This is what I mean when I say Viridian is not really a green. In this context, it is a grey maker, a neutraliser, and one of the most elegant tools on the palette. Number 4, what I saw in this cat. Let's have a look at my reference photo. I have to say, this is one of the most beautiful photos I have been given as a commission to paint. Let's talk about the composition first. I need to remove that lamp behind. I could have a bit of an issue with the cat being a bit blob-like in its negative space. I can fix this by darkening my values on this side and breaking this edge. I paint directly over the photo in Photoshop, so that's my composition sorted. Let's now have a look at my values. You'll see my white areas have quite a range from white to a mid-tone value. A lot of this area is all in the mid-tones and the cat is backlit. We also now have quite a lot of dark values in this top corner here, so I need to make sure my darks are not flat and my mid-tones are dark enough. Let's have a look at what temperatures we see. To get a separation between my head and background, I will need to use a warm-cool effect. In my cat's white areas, I can definitely see cool greys, warm reds, oranges and some yellows. So I need to make sure I get this temperature shift in my painting. Number 5, how to control Viridian. Let's now have a look at my palette. I am using yellow ochre light, transparent yellow oxide, cadmium red, alizarin crimson, the permanent gambling version, transparent red oxide, ultramarine deep, Viridian and titanium zinc white. I have also mixed up a few other colours, a black red and a black green. When I mix these two together, they give me my rich black, a purple, an orange and another green that leans blue. This is my semi-opaque green. Remember, Viridian is transparent, so I need both. I would recommend doing a colour chart with alizarin crimson, Viridian and white. All three colours should be mixed together to give you your grey. You should experiment with adding more green, then more red, then try adding more white. This will really help you see the range and temperatures of the grey that these three colours will give you. Looking at my painting and starting with the background, I have moved around in value, colour and temperature. This is what will give your background life. If it is all one value, one colour and one temperature, it will look flat. In this corner, I have used more Viridian. Up here, it's an even split between alizarin crimson, Viridian and white. Down here, I've added more transparent yellow oxide and white, then more green. I've darkened the value too, then more white and back to transparent yellow oxide. For the black areas of the head, I have used my black red plus a little black green. Notice how I have green next to red, so a temperature shift plus two complementary colours together. This is why the head still pops against that green, even though the values are similar. For the white, this is where it gets tricky, and why doing the colour charts will help you. As my base colour, I will be using my Viridian plus alizarin crimson plus white. This gives me a cool grey. When I see more green, I push it green. When I see more red, I push it red. When I see more orange, I add this red here. That is my first grey mix. My second grey mix is my black red, black green plus transparent yellow oxide plus white. You can try making the charts of this colour too if you like. It will really help. Where I have a cooler grey, I use more purple. Where I have a warmer grey, I use more yellow. My really light areas are just white from the tube. Looking at the colour and temperature shifts we have across this painting, green, red, orange, purple, yellow, pink, green, yellow, green, yellow. It is this colour in my neutrals that gives my cat form. Notice I always have a cooler colour next to a warmer colour. I've painted it alla prima. That is the only way to get those pulled edges. To sum up then, experiment with Viridian. It is a great neutraliser for overly saturated warm colours. It makes beautiful greys, particularly when paired with alizarin crimson. Make some colour charts to help you understand how the colours work. If you would like to come and paint with me in oils, join my workshop on the 3rd of July. You'll find the link in the description below. There are also more details of lesson opportunities on my website, sarahhallidayart.com. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss future painting tips. Thank you for watching and see you next week.